Sync.
And
Oh, you don't
we're
do
live.
that. And we're live, and you've got a drink. But I got myself a glass of water.
Wow, a little tip. What's
a
left?
Sip of water, yeah. I got myself a glass of water a day and a half ago, and it left it there, and that's what's not evaporated.
Oh. Yeah, we'll just wait till hopefully someone appears in the chat, and then we'll start. So as soon as he gets to like one viewer, we'll.
Okay, well, talk me through the format.
Basically, I'm so far I've been interviewing people and chatting about iNav. For you, it's a bit of a personal catch up and see how you are. Clive, good afternoon. Fruitcakes, hello. There is people here.
Hi, Clive. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to stop my devices making funny beep beep noises.
It's okay, it's fine. Hello, lads. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello and welcome to the show. It's just the random interview things that I do. The last two have mainly been about iNav and a couple of buddies of mine. And this is my friend Adam Juniper. So we're gonna hopefully. I really want to talk about like the history stuff because you're.
That's right. All of the history from the day the first man drew something on the side of a cave to now.
Jack, devices just vibrate. Yep. You're in what I would class you and me like the golden years. You know, the golden era of when you had a drone with you and people would or you'd be flying and people would come over and be like, oh, what's that, and how fast does it go and how high does it go, and no mention of did you do Gatwick or are you spying
no one
on
had
me?
done that by then.
Yeah, so it was all just happy, clappy. Everything was just good fun.
Those were the days, yeah.
Those are the days. And
I mean,
my buddy.
In fairness, people did get to the whole "are you spying on me" pretty early because there's a certain sort of person who thinks the world gives a shit what they're doing, who tend to be it wasn't so much the technology, was it? The first time they saw a drone, the first time they've seen a camera, they just want the world to be about them.
Yeah, and little did they know, like was like Alexa and Hey Google a thing then? There's Hey Siri a thing. I don't think it was quite yet.
Was that back? I don't know. I think back then that was when Siri was just like coming over here and was a man. Yeah. Do you remember when Siri was a man in Britain?
No.
When Siri first came to Britain, I don't know why, but I think they thought that we British would respond more to a butler-like tone. So Apple gave Siri a male voice for the UK market.
Oh,
now you can choose, but the default was a male.
Wow. Well, anyway, these people later on went to invite government spy devices like as such willingly into the houses. And the Apple FaceTime exploit where you could just dial in and view people's cameras and all that great stuff.
Oh, yeah, but all of those people were, movie stars, weren't they?
I think so, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, no, but the ones that anyone recorded and shared around on the internet.
Good point. So I met Adam back in 2014. Is that right?
Could be. About something like that. Is it that long? It's a long time, isn't it? Now,
yes, my friend.
When was because there wasn't even a Phantom, maybe?
The Phantom 3 was about to come out, but we didn't know. Well, I mean,
because it hadn't yet.
Yeah, it hadn't. Yeah, the Phantom 2 was the best you could get. Clean Flight had, just forked from base flight. BL Heli had just come out, we were all running Simon K software mainly. A lot of us were running Simon K, so there was no one shot. Audio Geek, hello, loved your video by the way.
Live long and prosper.
Yep. And
I can't believe that's in Unicode.
Yeah. So yeah, and I met you through Meetup. Was that right? You made a drone flying meetup group, I think.
Yes, I think so. I think I wanted to see if there were other people out there because I'd been bought a Parrot AR drone too by my wonderful girlfriend, now mother of my 4-year-old. So
you weren't even married then, were you? You were
still not married, mate.
Oh well,
that's a very old-fashioned approach to these things.
Yeah.
/ that is a system that insists on having a very expensive party on top of everything else.
Yeah, true. But anyway, so
don't go feeling like you weren't invited to the wedding, mate. There just wasn't one.
Yeah, no way. That's the one. No, I can't. I just want you two to be happy.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of a good joke for there, but yes, I want to be happy too.
Yeah. Good luck in 2020.
Yeah, it doesn't so, a year for it, does it?
Yeah, I can't remember what I said to you, but I messaged you, and then did we meet up for a fly?
Yeah, I think so. And I think maybe I was starting to get a bit enthusiastic about building stupid hexacopters.
Yes.
I was already a camera guy well before I encountered drones. And I think it wasn't until I got the AR drone and flew it around a bit and eventually into the channel that I became aware that, those little cameras with no stabilization were not quite, as photographically impressive as somehow I imagined these things were going to be. And certainly not as good as they looked on the websites.
Yeah.
So I got what was the brand of
Tarot gimbal?
Yeah, it's a Tarot gimbal, yeah. A Tarot frame as well.
Hello, Rich.
And I was trying to be all clever by not buying the NASA after I did buy a NASA with my first hex, and then we flew that off the mountain.
Didn't it end up in a forest or something?
In a field or something. Well, we don't know quite where because it drifted off over the downs towards, I would say towards Gatwick, but we were a good few miles from Gatwick.
Oh my god! Was it a NASA light or was it? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was a NASA light, or the little orange one.
Yeah, little reddish orange.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with that. I mean, we did do successful programming and stuff as well. Maybe, I don't know. That was a lot. Because I really wanted to be, the next great aerial photographer using these things. I was less drawn in by the various racing options. And it was only when my colleagues pointed out to me, as a publisher, that there ought to be a book about these exciting new drone things that people are talking about. Because people were still excited, even then, at first, like strangers and outsiders. And, you were my connection to the world of people who actually did it just for the hell of it. And you were organizing what was it, the valley, the Hidden Valley?
I think so.
Not on your own, but you were like,
yeah, that wasn't me. That was Dom. Sorry, hang on. I got me accidentally playing in the background. So for anyone who wants to know, I've basically brought up the digital free 20 pages. So this was Adam's, and you flew it into the sea in Brighton. Is that right?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. I did replace it.
No, you did.
Yeah, yeah. And in fairness, I didn't. The outdoor hull didn't go in the sea because I don't. If you ever had one of those original Parrot things, the top, the big sort of padded protective thing was for indoors, so you didn't whack it into the wall, and you could take that off and then just use a sort of much smaller fuselage with scary propellers. For going outdoors. But what you couldn't do, valuable lesson, is fly all the way out to the broken pier in Brighton and then fly it back.
You
didn't quite do it.
And look at the tiny little camera on the front of it.
Yeah, I know.
The Parrot drone. Yeah, hey G-Law, how you doing? Thanks guys for tuning in. So let's start at the beginning. So we've got a picture of. We've managed to get a picture of the Phantom 3. Is that right?
Is that a 2? I think.
Is it a 2?
Yeah, I think 1 and 2 rather than 2 and 3. I think you're.
Yeah, and there's the Wooden Wonder, which is in the background of your video.
Hello, Frank Andrew.
And
I can't believe
you point to the Wooden Wonder behind you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So we built that for your book. So it's here, and there was like a little hello, Andrew / Frank. Have I secured the broadcasting rights for this? It's on Google.
I don't work for them anymore.
And it's free on Google. And there's
I don't think it should be.
Well, the first 320 pages. There's one of the flight test things that I built.
Yeah,
hey, Clive.
You were very generous. All of you, in fact, were very generous with letting me and the big camera come around and take pictures of your various creations. Because if it was just the things I flew, it wouldn't really be a very interesting book for.
Well, we've got is that an Inspire 1?
It is. That's I can't remember his name now. We all came up to London, ironically, very near where I live, to play drones just north of the Olympic Park in Hackney Marshes. And I was very envious of somebody's Inspire 1 at the time. And later on, I would have one.
Yay.
And eventually I sold it because it was embarrassing to have 2 Inspires that I never used.
Yeah, and then you've even done the whole fixed wing. I think that's the back of Johnny Banton's head.
You know better than me.
I think that's the back of Johnny's head. I don't know where you got this quad photo from.
That was online. That was a stock photo, believe it or not.
Wow. And then I mean, like the future toys, the drone watch thing.
It never happened. Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was because it was that sort of time, wasn't it, when people were creating? Because it was also quite early in the age of Indiegogo and the like, and so people were coming up with really dubious, shall we say, business ventures, but they all seemed quite exciting. And obviously with a book, and the lead cycle on a book is better part of 18 months. So some things you have to just hope are going to still be available.
Yeah, and there's a Parrot and stuff like that. Prosumer drones.
Oh yeah, Bebop.
Yeah, Bebop.
Got 2 of them if anyone wants them.
You got what?
2 of them if anyone wants one.
Oh, I'll have one.
For money. Oh man.
Imagine your wrist when armed accidentally. Yeah.
I honestly don't know if they work, to be honest. I can't make them work with an iPhone 11.
Oh so yeah, it's not going to have the support, is it?
It won't let you do the update on the software at the moment in the current version. It's very annoying.
Oh my word!
Oh yeah, the Hubsons. Yes, you're right. G-Law FPV.
Yeah, Hubson. I owned one of those. I bought the controller separately in the hope to make something out of the small screen, and then bought just the quad on its own from Sausage Model Centre for way too much money, and then lent it to David Stock, the photographer, and then he gave it back to me broken. And he was like, I don't know what happened.
Well, but I flew it into something, but I sat on it. But it should, you know, surely the list of things that could have happened.
I don't know what happened. So yeah, it was the screen sort of didn't work. It didn't tune into the FPV-ness of it. But yeah, I started first on Hubs. So how did you first get into the hobby? What was your first exposure to it? And then what did you do?
Well, I mean, we kind of said a bit. So obviously it was I think I was reading about that CES, the year that Parrot took their the first what did we call it? The thing, the Parrot, the stupid name, AR drone. And it got so much press that year because it was really, really exciting to everyone. It was exciting to mobile phone people and all those magazines. It was exciting as a sort of general tech thing. It was exciting. I now know, because I have been to CES in my time now, compared to almost everything in a giant, boring exhibition center, it will have been quite exciting to see this thing shooting down the corridors in horrible big hotels in Vegas. So I can see why everyone filled pages and pages with it, and I wanted one. I kept going on about it until I was given one. And I think after that, quite soon afterwards, you realize that you want to know other people. So that's when I started trying to find, online, because that was the other thing that was quite new to me back then, to be honest, was that people exist, who might be interested in the same things online, who turn out to be real, like Jack.
And I didn't murder you for your kidneys.
What?
And I didn't murder you for your kidneys.
No, which is good. You think
Adam just exploited me and like whipped me like a little monkey, and he was like, build, and then I'd start building, and then he would take my toy away.
I was going to say, I don't think I was one of the people who totally exploited you for building, but then we did get you to build that thing for the book. But
I remember.
Are we sure Jack is real? Says Andrew.
I was just upset because I'd start building a thing for your book, and then you'd take it away from me and then photograph it step by step.
Well, yes, it slowed you down doing the build. I remember that. But the whole point of it was to create a step by step. So
yeah, I know. It was really.
How many people bought the book and became more interested in the world of you brought people in around the world. Some of them.
I hope so. Have you seen any photos of anyone else's Wooden Wonders?
I've seen a couple in like the whole time. I don't think many people actually build it. Although somebody did email not that long ago asking for like updated version of the plans, which I always said we'd do, but then clearly didn't bother with.
Oh man, we should.
Yes, but you're like, oh yeah, we should, and then but it will be some effort. And the first edition's now out of print, and the Wooden Wonder is still in the second edition, because we did a second edition with more pages, which is on the shelf behind it.
Can you show us the picture of the tricopter? That's what I live for.
I don't have a tricopter. I never had one.
No. There's a picture of Nico's one in the book.
It's in here somewhere, is it?
Yeah. But anyway, carry on. Yeah. So yeah, the Wooden Wonder, you've just gone past it, I think.
Oh yeah, this one also has an FPV of your design.
Yes,
Jack.
Well, that is it's Immersion RC. Oh, there you go. There's a Wooden Wonder.
Yeah.
But the original workbench. My son has that book.
What?
Clive.
Oh, well, this was meant to be for grown-up. There is a children's version we did as well with lovely Oh look, I've got which I have in French, but not in English.
What? Did they
There'll be
not?
an English. There will be a copy in English somewhere. I'm just the one I spotted. Look, because as a company, we sold the translation rights to foreigners, and I think that's French. Yeah. See, all the words are not in English.
That's weird.
But this one lasts longer because it, you know, as you can see, we had like somebody nice, not me, do illustrations.
Ah.
But, interestingly, this battery going fat thing is a lesson I've recently learned about my MacBook.
Yeah. Would you like to explain what happened?
I'm top tip: don't buy a computer and use it for more than, I don't know, a year or whatever. No, just about a week before the end of its 3 years of guarantee, the whole computer just changed shape, went all bendy. It became like a big puffy lump, and it just turned out that all my, that really hot week,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago in summer when it was nice and actually properly hot. Well, that was a bit challenging for the modern thin lap MacBooks, and it puffed up. The batteries all just exploded, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was in Apple Care. They've changed it and fixed it and everything, but they definitely seemed a bit. They were like, if this had happened next week, you'd have been out of guarantee and fucked.
Good
But
work.
really are. You just so I hadn't appreciated that they do the same thing. Proper batteries, I guess.
Oh, Audio Geek. Do you guys have a proper way to replace bearings? My favourite motors at the end of life and want to replace them. There is. I could maybe do a video on it for you. I've got a little email me and I will try and I will try and link you. But if you need to do it now, I've replaced my bearings in my Lumineer 2300s with ceramic bearings, and the size of bearings is written on usually on the side edge, and I've got like a little metal, tiny little pole rod, say from a printer. Like I opened a printer or a scanner, and that little rod was in there, and I took it, and it's the same size. You can also use punches that you get with like the the hammer punch bang to mark the center, and you can use them and put them at an angle and tap out the bearings. Funny enough, I have got to do it to a set of bearings anyway. A motor anyway. So I desperately need to do that at some point. So I got a set of motors from, I think, Andy RC. And they used to be listed on the Hobby King website for a bearing puller, but it wasn't a bearing puller. It was a bearing inserter. So you put the bearing on, and it's like a Christmas tree bit, like a step bit for on a drill, and you put the bearing in the right thing, and then you push it in. You can kind of do it. Project Blue Falcon's got a fairly alright video on it. And hang on. Ooh, 2 seconds. And you Nipex do this. I don't know whether you can read all the stuff on that.
Nope.
It is a Nipex 4611GO 1.5 or -4 millimeters, and these have got the opposite effect. But regard to the little clips, you insert the little pins in there, if you can see them, and it opens and spreads them out. For a pillar drill, you mean? Step bit. I think that's what it's called. Step drill bit. It's got a name, isn't it? Step builder. Yeah, no, that's it. Hang on, share screen. There you go. Share. They look like that. They look like little mini Christmas trees. You get a small one of them. But let's have a look for the. Sorry, we're going slightly off topic.
It's all right.
But yeah, someone's done a little. Apparently, this is a bearing puller, and I don't think it is. But see how it's like Christmas tree and stepped and that. But that's what.
I can't believe that works.
Out, but you can get these inner bearing pullers as well. You can buy a little mini one of them. But that's what they were like. Internal bearing puller. They don't do it anymore. And that's for inserting bearings.
Also no longer available.
Yeah, V2 bearing. They are removal
V2
tool.
rocket bomb.
But yeah, I think that's basically you put it in the other side and you bang it out, but you need an internal remover because obviously you can't get around to the other side. But yeah, Project Blue Falcon's got a good video on that. If you must know. Oh, that's a step build bit. Got a screw bottom. Cool. You just unscrew it and then you'll need to bash them out. Oi oi. Where do we get to?
I think we were talking about the things we were building, or that you were building, and I was taking credit for, because that was
you
me.
gave
that
me
was
credit.
No, that's true. All right. Well, that was my skill set, though, wasn't it? It was books, publishing, photos, that kind of thing, more than it was specific levels of detail of drones.
Yeah.
And I hope I was always keen to make sure that you got credited.
No, easily.
I mean, this is a little different because this has got no real content. This was aimed for kids, for parents to buy as a present. So it's pretty lightweight. Try not to drive it into a wall. That kind of advice. People do just chuck motors away. People chuck drones away after a few flights, let alone motors. But then we had there was a trade show, wasn't there? Somebody thought they might be able to make a drone trade show, and we thought we could sell a book there.
That was the golden years.
That was the highlight of the golden lit year in a way, wasn't it? We booked.
Yeah.
Because I was all for it because I was used to doing the same thing on the company's dime with the photography show. But obviously they weren't keen to do it for one book, especially written by me. But they were more than happy for me to, buy cheap a pile of the books with my name on and have a crack at selling them myself if I paid for the stand. And I obviously wasn't going to get through the whole thing on my own. So who else could I ask but Jack? So we got the most economical hotel room on the site of.
It couldn't be. It was absolutely lovely there.
I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, it wasn't that lovely, was it? It was.
It was good.
It was fine though. I mean, it wasn't. There weren't rats or anything. There's nothing nasty at the NEC.
Yeah, there was no cockroaches. There was no bed bugs. I mean, we had breakfast in the morning. Once I eventually managed to wake you up.
I don't like getting up.
I know. Next time, I should be given a key to your room so I can come in and slap you about a bit and piss on you to wake you up.
Well, you see, the very fact you use the word piss on me to wake me up is exactly why I don't think that's a brilliant idea.
That was the final measure. Oh, man, AC.
I'd rather not have to get up than to wake up smelling of... Yeah, anyway.
There's a shower there. It's all good fun.
Anyway, to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't do that.
No.
We were just a bit late for the show. God, yeah, it is a long time ago.
Oh my god. Yes, Frank. Frank's not a happy bunny as usual.
Well, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with the NEC. It's lovely-ish. Although, I mean, a soul-sucking sales bunker, yes, that's.
Did you actually?
Do I fly? Is that? Do I fly?
No. Do you fly right, mate?
Do I, me? No.
Can you not fly in acro mode?
I can. It's just not like Tony can.
Yeah. Sports mode doesn't count.
It doesn't. I mean, well, no. Sports mode isn't. It's just sports mode is just turning off the safety sensor, isn't it? It's not actually proper ATI or anything.
No.
They don't. It's quite hard to find in the menus on the more recent DJI things. But
Really?
it's not. You know. Yeah. So it used to be that the switch on, I think the Inspire, certainly on the Phantoms, there was an ATI position on the switch. But now you have to find it in the software menus, and the switch, the 3 position, will have tripod, normal, and sports. And sports is just the one where it turns off the collision sensors and goes as fast as it thinks it can, which is usually about 40 miles an hour.
Mm.
But I mean, they're photographers' tools. They're not fun drones.
No.
You know, people who bitch about DJI drones being, you know, not the sort of thing that if you think it's for that, you're wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, none of us do. Like, really, surely. We just think we're better than them, like the PC master race.
But it's a different use case, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to. I don't know. Yeah, I think you are better than them. You know, these people are, for the most part, photographers.
He said drones aren't fun. No, he said the Phantoms are not fun. Like that sort of.
They're not really, though, are they? I mean, they are. I mean, they're still a fun thing compared to, say, going for a walk or what have you. But there is something a bit. Well, I don't know. It's very hard to. I find it's quite hard to be properly fun if I'm conscious that the thing would cost £1,000 if I flew it into the wall.
Yeah.
Or rather more if I flew it into someone litigious. So yeah, and then I did the boring exam. I think the year after that, as part of the research for the update for the book. So maybe that made me more boring, because I think once you've had the people from sorry, I was trying to understand the sentence. Tony, Adam, you're a dude DJI. I assume being a dude's good.
Yeah. Yeah, one's aimed for photography and one's aimed at flying. That's what you're trying to get.
Yeah, exactly. And the flying thing's always going to be a niche hobby, because it always was before, wasn't it? It's just the other one has a sudden broad appeal for broadcasters and people who are too cheap for helicopters but are doing TV series for Netflix and need nice establishing shots.
Tony just loves anything from DJI now. He always has. He done some incredible. He still owns a Phantom 2 that he ridiculously upped the power to by turning a screw, and has flown a disgustingly far distance back in the day. Or
Those
may or may
allegations
not.
were never ever proven.
Yeah. The CAA have never contacted him. He's got no idea what I'm on about. It may or may not have been 15 miles.
Yeah, certainly that's a suggestion. Well, that's quite an achievement. But I mean, that's just, it's one of the things. So now, one of the things I do is write reviews of drones for Camera Magazine, Digital Camera World, and some other sites. But coming at it from the camera side, obviously you're looking at things like whether you've got adjustable apertures and stuff in the how good it is, or so that's fine to be doing the DJI, but it does feel a very different experience. And the other thing is, everyone is like, well, what's the range? How far can it go? And you just have to sort of blandly look at them. 500 meters, all right. It's all you're really allowed to say. Although people do read the things in the US, so you are, and they can go a little further.
Yeah, don't worry, you don't have to defend yourself. It's fine.
No, but it's very hard to test, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. If I'm being paid to do a test, and if I'm breaking my own thing by going further than 500 meters, I don't know. I find it bothersome, because I think 1,000 meters, that would be a more reasonable limit. Like 1,000 meters is quite a long way, and radio can be a bit funny. But 500 meters, you can very easily get to that by accident, not looking. Yeah, Ferraris do go faster than 70 miles an hour, don't they? And
quite Frank, what's your opinion on that?
What, Ferraris?
No, the 500 meters. That was all. I just wanted to know from someone.
I think it should be context sensitive, personally. I mean, in fairness, it sort of is. So you can get, once you've got your basic qualifications, you can get additions and changes to your CAA qualification or the new European one. So 500 meters was originally only a guideline, but it got sort of written into stone by the as being like the definition of visual line of sight. Yeah, but
carry on.
No. I felt like Andrew was about to say more, but so some argue that if you have a Mavic Air or whatever, the little ones, then your visual line of sight is really 200 to that kind of thing, because they're harder to see quite a bit sooner. Whereas if you have a bigger aircraft, that gives you more distance. But when I was taught anyway, they were clear that it didn't matter the circumstance. If I took the big thing out, then 500 meters was the limit, but it went down for the smaller aircraft. That was how the whatever it was when I did my
PIFCO.
What's it called? Yeah, which of course is out of date now anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but was yours still called the BNUC?
I did a BNUC, but I never. That was a long time ago. No, I did the PIFCO as well.
What's the difference between a BNUC and a PIFCO?
A day.
Okay.
One took 2 days of crappy time wasted a long effort in a classroom. One took 1 day. That was my experience of the difference. I think these days you can get the thing in. Me? Hilariously, Tony, I've actually put on quite a bit of weight recently, but I also had a haircut. So so everyone keeps asking me if I lost weight. I did lose weight before, so since we last met, it may be true, but I'm heading it back ever since the the event started, the staying at home eating and talking about diseases. Things you should do, I think, during COVID.
No, you said that word.
Sorry. Well, I've been doing a few things. So with my street photographer friends, we're doing a book called COVID Street, which you can find on our site. I'll share the link because it's not quite out yet, but we're very proud of ourselves and have done lots of good moral money raising and stuff. The other things you can do is stay at home and eat lots of food, which is brilliant because the one shop you're allowed to go to is the food shop. And then you can do exercise now as well to balance out the food, but that's a lot of effort. And for a long time, we weren't really allowed to fly, I didn't think. There were all sorts of... I actually lost track of the various delays to the PIFCO extensions and that kind of thing. Because my qualification was due to be expired, and then it got a bit extended for a little bit, and then I think I should have done something about it. And I think now if I want a qualification, I can't have my PIFCO extended. I have to get whatever the new one is.
Is there a new one?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's it gives you slightly less. You don't get a sphere around anymore. You get a circle. So the 500 meters, well, you can't do the thing you used to do, which is go near somewhere you wanted to do and then take off and fly over it. Because, yeah.
Stay at home, eat out to help out / stay fit.
Me, do I use ND filters? Yeah. Not all the time, because sometimes I forget. But yeah, you should use ND filters when you're shooting. And the other reason I don't always do it is because if I have an aircraft for a short period as a review, because you don't get to keep them if you're a reviewer, you get them posted from a press office. It really depends on whether the press office thought to give you the pack with the ND filters or what have you. Oh, so it's extended right until the end of the year because it was meant to end in June.
No, it's being retired at the end of the year.
Oh, so even if you had the ones that were extended, because they did say at first. So I'm asking Andrew because I've lost track of this. But originally they said that what you'd be able to do is continuously renew a PIFCO if you had one. So once it had entered the last year, you had to consciously keep the PIFCO alive. This seemed mad to me because they had the new qualification as well. But because the PIFCO had slightly different qualifying factors than the new one, you'd have to consciously go and renew your PIFCO, and you'd get in exchange. The main thing you'd get is you'd get a sphere of 500 meters or whatever. Oh no, 50 meters is the small sphere, isn't it? Is what's more interesting. So you could fly over things. So if you were 500 meters up, you could go and fly over the neighboring field, and you were fine because not 50 meters. 50, you were 50 meters away from anyone, even if it was somebody else's house. But the argument with the new thing was that the 50 meters was a circular thing, so you got to the edge of the land that you were on, or in fact 50 meters from it, depending on how you look at it, and that was it. You were fucked. Sorry, you had to stop.
It's all right. You can swear. It's fine. It's fine.
But again, these things keep sort of changing, and the whole idea of the new scheme is that there are sort of, for want of a better word, add-ons. So you can do a little extra exam that gives you qualifications to operate in ways that are not covered by the basic rules.
I think Frank's frantically looking up. Yes, always use DJI cams crap from light to dark.
Yeah, they with this, like the Mavic 2 Pro is slightly better than the Mavic 2 Zoom, for example. That one's 14 and one's 13 EV stops. So the dynamic range, even in the good one, is only a little bit better. So it's better that you plan it ahead and think ahead on a very bright day and put a the filter on. Plus they're included in the DJI Fly More packs, aren't they? I think certainly on the Mavic 2, although that's due for replacement, isn't it?
Well, I don't know whether did you get a chance to check out the crazy DJI thing I built, the flippity floppity Mavic?
Yeah, your video, Jack. Yeah, that was awesome. Yes.
Thanks. Man, I just realised, Tony, you've lost your admin spanner wrench thing because you unsubscribed and then resubscribed. Sounds like it's going to be more like filling out a HSE.
Jack is talking about the icon next to the names of the people in the chat, I think. Yeah, you wouldn't want a spanner next to your name if it was school, would you? Well, we've grown out of that.
Yeah.
But here it's a sign of achievement.
Yeah, no, not really. It just means that you've got a job to do whilst listening to this. So yeah, I'm going to think about doing the A2. It's 150 somewhere, but I'm not sure if I can use my lightweight FPV drones. I know that the Legacy will only last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the legacy period is a bit of an issue as well, isn't it? Because afterwards, they are based on meeting the CE standard, which we proudly voted not to have any choice in what the CE standard is, even though we are making it part of our rules. Yes. And that standard will definitely require safety features like GPS. So self builds are not going to get covered in them because you can't apply to get CE qualification for your own self build unless you're very rich.
Really? Oh, sorry.
Well, CE is as in, I mean, maybe the individual parts might be CE because it's it's a safety standards, isn't it? It's like your computer will meet a CE standard, that kind of thing. Yeah, well, for the next few years we get to find out reasons why the UK shouldn't have done it. But on the plus side, you won't notice because the massive recession we're going to have because of the COVID will obscure the massive recession that we would have had but no one else would have done because of Brexit.
Fantastic. I love the view on that. So you briefly touched on what you've been.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't know. I did notice that all everything I bought from abroad suddenly got a lot more expensive back in 2016 and hasn't got any cheaper since.
Yeah. TBS are getting CE done on their stuff. Yeah, they are, and also the Ghost as well from Immersion RC is going to be CE locked as well and can only be locked by the resellers.
Oh, that's good though. It's good that the market is mature enough in a way that some devices can be, CE approved. Because that's the thing, isn't it? If you're not selling that many things, but you're making a new drone every 6 months or something, then it's going to be a lot harder to get CE approval.
Can they stop people like Jack retrofitting his own parts like he did with the Phantom?
Nope. And it was Tony with the Phantom and Jack with the Mavic.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe you should do something to my Inspire here.
No, I'm not touching that. If I crack one single screw from that,
it's nearly cut my hand off several times.
Why? How?
I think I've shown you guys this before because this lip here it's a similar design to the old white one, but it's made of magnesium, and that lip there is just very sharp metal. Whereas on the old white one, it was just a nice white plastic.
Huh. Can't you file that so it's nice and smooth?
No, I think if you filed it, it would be even sharper.
Oh, no. Get a deburring tool on it.
Well, all right. It might do something for its eBay value, and that's an important consideration at the moment.
What, be more safe?
What?
Okay.
Well, if you look at it, so that is actually one from very early on, but there is a little sticker that says, "Watch your hand." So obviously somebody didn't think about it until afterward.
Beast mode on the beast mode, the Inspire. Oh man, that would be amazing.
Beast, is that what you call your mod?
No, ain't me. That ain't me that said it. I don't know what I called it. I called it like I don't know what I called it. I just fucking made it. I thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be a nice challenge to try and squeeze everything in there, and I managed to do it somehow. So,
I mean, it's a very nice thing because it can lift up the what's it? The camera, the ZenMuse thing. But I'm a little worried that that's going to be a historical footnote now, because those cameras that DJI use for the Mavic and for the Inspire and the smaller of their big professional ones use, is it Micro Four Thirds? Is that the name of it? The lens, there's a camera system. It's a system that has a smaller image sensor than like a normal camera, but it's still but still quite big, and certainly bigger than you're used to, or we were used to. But it looks like the big camera companies that were behind that are losing ground to Sony and Canon and Nikon, and so it might die. And having only DJI supporting it might not be enough.
Yeah, it's not good, man. I remember listening to the drone podcast and like having those guys bang on about ZenMuse gimbals and stuff. So apparently, there's nothing quite like it. They're like really good.
Yeah, well, it's basically a flying SLR, or not, one below an SLR camera. So it has the same image sensor size as you get. I mean, if you look inside that, it's pretty much all image sensor.
But
that's a 35mm one, whereas the other thing is it's a bit bigger than an inch across the diagonal in the ZenMuse. And then, there's a whole series of lenses.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder why they don't drop pounds. There's no point, is there? Although they might. Who knows? Andrew's asking if they're going to go with proprietary system.
Yeah.
Speaking of FPV, and one of the things I did get rid of recently is my DJI goggles, because I had a set. Thinking,
did you buy them, or did they?
I bought them with they were on discount if you bought them at the same time as the Mavic 2.
Okay.
And I'd had a set to borrow of the original white ones to review for whenever they came out for one of the magazines. I think it was writing for Drone magazine then, but that's folded since. That was. But I realized I wasn't using them, and they're quite heavy, and they're not really any fun with the DJIs, I didn't think. And the only practical use was in the rare circumstances I was actually using, doing some video for other people. You'd give it to them so they could have a look. It made them feel involved. They'd act all excited like in the olden days. But that didn't help. It just
are you talking about the DJI flip down goggles?
Yeah, the flip down ones. Yeah.
Yeah, no, these guys are on about the the.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah, I think DJI. The reason I mentioned the flip down ones is because I think DJI in general are losing interest in goggles and stuff. I think they're scared of FPV people.
Well, the FPV people a lot of people seem to have adopted them.
The goggles that they sell separately, that's fine, isn't it? But the compatibility with their DJI's own goggles used to be built into their mainstream consumer drones, like the Air. The original Air did, but the Air 2 didn't. The new one that just came out doesn't support them at all. And my guess is because they don't want to be involved with a product that could so easily get you in a lot of trouble with the federal FAA and CAA and that kind of thing. US especially.
Yeah, they did ones like Google Glass too, which you, funny enough, still own.
See-through.
Yeah.
I got my Google Glass a couple of years ago for the first time, for a very long time, for a fancy dress party.
Yeah. I remember the photo of that. Were they any good, or were they absolutely useless?
Now, they did bother people when they worked out that you had a camera attached to your head. They're fine. I mean, they're as useful as it would be to walk down the street holding a phone in front of your face for directions and just reading the not looking at the map, but having it go left, straight on, right, or whatever, that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. You become a glass hole. I was a glass hole briefly, but not that. I mean, like, I used it for 2 or 3 weeks and then sent it back because they have a design flaw as well. They have a little mirror because the screen is in the side, and then there's a mirror here that projects the image onto your eye, and that mirror just fell away. It's like a foil attached to the side, and whatever it was. So I sent it back, and then they sent it back. But then by the time I was given a shiny new set, the whole beta was over, and everyone decided they were evil.
Read my text before I ring Jack. Okay. More DJI flyers, more.
What text?
Oh, thank you.
I love. That's what she said.
Huh. I don't know.
He wants to talk about 25 megawatts.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you want? More DJI flyers get in trouble more? Nope. 25 milliwatts.
If DJI goggles get 25 megawatts, I'm done.
Milliwatts.
That's so gay, UK on own.
Yeah, more DJI flyers get in trouble more. Okay, that's just a statement. We didn't need to read.
They should. Well, I think people are going to get into trouble more, aren't they? Yeah. Although, does DJI bother you more, right? Or does Autel and the Evo? Right, because Auto's main selling point that they're massively proud of is that they don't have geofencing.
I don't know anything about these guys.
So, I reviewed the Evo 2 recently, and it's cool. It's like it's what the Mavic 2 should have been, but then they've had like 2 years to work on it. It's got 4K 60 frames. It's got it's got 8K if you want, although that seems like just too much data. Proper 8K, not shitty DJI 8K that is just hyperlapse, But their sales pitch is, you fly this near an airport, it'll be fine. Which is not. It seems a bit worrying to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can't play that tone. Yeah. There's also, so for me, my little opinion is that with what we do as FPVers, there's a barrier of entry where you've got to look stuff up and learn from other people, and you learn on the way what's wrong and what's right and what's wrong. And I think it is a bit bad advertising, and you hopefully run into someone sensible. But with the DJI thing is that because there's no real sort of like barrier to entry. You can't, back in the day, you used to be able to go to Maplin's off the street, buy it, and a lot of people would get them for Christmas presents and be really excited, rip the back paper off, and just go out and fly it in the back garden. You didn't really have that sort of breakdown.
I remember when Maplin's were still trading when we started this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't have
They stopped my book,
Yeah, you don't have the
and then
bit
they
where
went broke.
Yeah, you don't have the bit where the like you've set your throttle to reverse or something, or you plug something in and then the motor spins up and you've left your props on and it cuts you and you go, oh, this might be dangerous.
I think that's the thing that is like, so it's and I think DJI are sort of quite responsible about that, possibly nervous about it because they're the big firm, and
they're in the site,
which makes them even more boring in other people's mind. But fair enough, they've got to do what they've got to do. But then I find it really worrying when Autel, who come from the same town, but in America call themselves Autel Robotics USA. So American fascists think that they aren't Chinese. And then the main part of their advertising is, you can take off wherever you want, no geofencing. And yes, if you're on a professional job, and I have been that person, if you've done the stuff and then you get to the location and you've got permission from the tower, but you can't take off because you're DJI, you think, you haven't got the information over to the drone. That's really, really frustrating. But at the same time, Autel loudly shouting does encourage not just people who have, as you say, earned the knowledge, because you never meet people who FPV who haven't earned that response. They always seem, in my experience, to be sensible. But photographers can be pretty unsensible. And, you can browse the forums and you can see some, people who shout America freedom will cheerfully talk about behaving in a way that would not be considered responsible by the FAA.
Yeah. All right. Before we kick the hornet's nest too much, it's got to the hour mark. Do you want to plug what you do and what you've been up to, and then we'll call it there?
Oh, me?
Yep.
Oh, well, okay. Let me see if I can share my my link.
And where they can find and read stuff that you do. And
okay, so first you're going to get a link to the photography book we've been working on, because that's occupied quite a lot of my time. You can also, I also did a book about Instagram. There's a page actually of me.
Yep.
In digital camera world, and that's a fun one, because you can see not only when I get to write about drones, but when I get about other things. Oh no! Oh, I can't make it appear. There is a way of searching, individual writers. Anyway, digital camera world. I'll just put that. You can see the other things I will say yes to these days. I also strongly recommend. Oh, it's gonna.
Is this the link?
Gordon's.
For, individual. Horrible link, but that's the one I came up with. Because you got you on LinkedIn, Digital Camera World.
Oh, that sounds like no. I don't know what that is. Jack showing me a link. I'm just going to put it in the thing, and then we'll all have a look. That seems a bit long for.
Yeah.
I can't even make it click that link. So.
No, you can't. You got to copy and paste it. I can send it to you in Facebook.
No, you're all right. That's fine. No, there is a shorter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, most drone reviews in digital camera world, but again, of course, they're not going to you guys are going to be like, what? Buy it ready made? Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
So, and also
horrendous link.
One of the sad rules in writing these days is you can only really talk about things that you can buy. Because even professionals make their websites the same way everyone else does. What else am I? Camera Labs, that was the other one I write for on a fairly regular basis. It's a long time to remember the name. And yeah, no. Otherwise, you can find my various writing credits. Like in about a year's time, there'll be a book with my name in the title about various computery things, including Ada Lovelace. That I can tell you because I wrote the bit about Ada Lovelace today. And she was one interesting lady.
Right, thanks, Adam. You've been an absolute gem, but I just wanted to share you with the people because you were originally one of the old school hosts on Let's Drone Out as well. You were,
I'll come back whenever you ask.
Yeah, it'll be good to have you on at some
point.
I'd
love to hear some of the interesting words that Tony uses these days.
Yeah, but no worries. Thank you, guys.
I'm not going to deep throat the microphone, Mr. Fruity Cake.
No, I know, naughty. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed and check out everything Adam gets up to. It's a bit, the photography side of things, but he's from the golden age, and we done some fun things together, and I always had fun with you.
It was always fun, wasn't it? The golden age.
I know it was. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you everyone who tuned in. Audio. Feel free to give me a shout if you get totally stuck. But no worries. Cool. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.